the line calls for service from taking at times of high call load. Therefore, we took a record of that, and then we did give 3 warnings during that period.
So was that my request? I don't remember.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I don't remember doing that because the request that I had from a citizen was specifically on the 4th of July.
Okay.
Because they were driving around the city and they just saw it all over the place. So, thank you.
Yeah, I guess I would say that whenever we have any of these celebrations, whether it's neighborhood nights or any of the other celebrations, 4th of July for sure, the police certainly want to be involved in that and keep those as safe as possible. So however we need to align our votes to get that to happen, we definitely want to be involved.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
All right, any further questions from council? If not, Director, thank you very much for your time. Mr. Rinaldi, Mr. Torres, thank you very much for all the work that you do on our events. So, have a good evening. All right, up next is the second agenda item. We have Directors of Utilities and Southside Renew, Peter Van Ryn, Deputy Director of Business Solutions and Engineering, Sarah Stone. Do we have representatives from Hazen and Sawyer here to present a 1-year update of the lead reduction program? I didn't get one.
No, I think it's just the 2 of us.
There we go. All right. All right, Peter, you get the mic from us tonight.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So we're here tonight to just provide you an update of our lead reduction program progress. It's our biggest project that we have underway right now in the Utilities Department, and it's happening throughout essentially every street in the city is being impacted by this. And it's been underway for about a year, and so we wanted to just check in with you and give you an update of what the progress is. So that's what we're here to do tonight. So let me first start with the team. Our team is essentially made up of 3 main components. One is our Englewood City team, which is the key staff from the Englewood Utilities Department that are leading this program. And so that's Sarah Stone, who will be presenting part of this presentation as well. John Roach, our DDOM, Brian Ratcliffe is our distribution and function manager, Omar Polito, who's our distribution and function supervisor, and Evelina Reyes, who's our operations support specialist. And so the 5 of them are the 4 that work with contractors and program manager consultants to help keep this going. So we move over to the contractors, instructors, and
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Thank you for popping in on this stream. So as you can see, we're at the Englewood City Council meeting. Sweet little Sarah and I. You're going to learn a little bit more about what the purpose is for us providing, well, I will be providing public comment this evening. You just saw me sign up. You saw all the rules and all the blah, blah, blah recording from the back of the room. We hate free speech. We hate getting caught on camera. Rules, blah, blah, blah. You remember that I'm suing the city of Englewood for their orchestrated conspiracy to commit retaliation for First Amendment activity. Over here on security from the Englewood PD, tonight we have Officer Hume. And we just had some words, and he turned into a dick, and I said, fuck you, numerous times to him, because he didn't like what I had to say. He couldn't have an adult conversation. So like a regular narcissist, he tried to flip the entire script and turn into a toddler, and then tell me that I was being immature. Like a typical cop. Oh yeah, by the way, he's the one that just wrote that bogus warrant for Chris Cordova. Oh, and there's the chief of police himself. So, yeah, as he tried to file complaints and address his behavior in that video. I don't know if any of you have seen it. If you haven't, it was many months ago. It was many months ago where he stopped to record him on a call, and he didn't like it. So he lost his shit and used his car door on his police car to try to hit Chris as he was recording. And as soon as he wanted things investigated for charges and whatnot, then of course he, wrote his affidavit for a warrant for his arrest for, I think it was obstruction. I can't remember. He just did a video on it not too long ago. And the case was dismissed by the DA, of course, as they're all getting dismissed. Hey, Butterfly. All right, well, let's sit down and talk a little bit about why I'm here giving public comment tonight. It's been a long haul on this situation that has occurred in this city. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, after watching this city make a calculated effort to leave a man to die on a bench in the freezing cold weather, yeah, it's gotten worse. Oh, hey, Amanda, you're on a new profile. Thanks for being in here. Bokomo apparently is our only mod at the moment. Oh no, Irish Rover's in here. Okay, very good. So tonight, because this meeting is a fucking joke, and they make you sit in the back of the room, you won't be able to hear much on my recording, so if you choose to watch it on the city's channel, you can go ahead and do that, and I think Bokomo will be posting a link in here, because the city likes you to only watch their views and what they capture on camera and audio, so they relegate everybody else with a camera to the back of the room, so not all things can be captured. I mean, how interesting and convenient is that? So they're getting sued over that. So if we have to force change that way to stop violating the First Amendment and people's right to record their government at public meetings, that's what we're doing. So back to the topic at hand with little Miss Sarah here. And I'm not at ease with it. It's very disturbing. I'm very mad. And it's pretty sick what this city has done to her great-grandfather. Listen up, Hume. To her great-grandfather, who is also her legally adoptive father. This police department, with collaboration with APS, Adult Protective Services, Fire Marshal, and the neighbors who were intent on partnering with the police as the police continued to coach the neighbors to continue to call the police to deem the 90-year-old man's home a nuisance abatement. You can relate, right, Hume? You've been on some of those calls over there on the nuisance abatement, serve and protect, help a 90-year-old man. So what they did ultimately was removed him forcibly from his home, used some verbiage in state law that allowed them to do some meth testing of the home, which came back with a couple spots on some walls, a spot in the refrigerator, a spot in the bathroom, a spot on the microwave door, a spot by the back door, spots. And none located in any of the ventilation systems or anywhere else, on any people's clothing, on any items in the house. Yeah, meth testing, just like they did here in the city of Englewood when they claimed they had to shut the restrooms down for mitigation. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of mitigation. Well, they got the man out of his home and then proceeded to condemn it then proceeded to slap lien after lien after lien on the property. Then they stuffed him in a nursing home and forced him to forfeit all of his Social Security to pay for that. This is a true story. The city is now being exposed little by little. Sarah and I have been writing to City Council. Little Miss Sarah has been involved in everything since day one. She was unaware of what her potential authority of powers over her grandfather were until we were able to get in contact after her mom, Crystal, came and spoke at City Council. You saw, I think, the last time, maybe the time before, where Crystal came and spoke. And they let her get in the home and get her ID. Sarah asked for the same thing because all of her documents are in the home. They initially told her they could, and she was setting that up at the police department. And then Tamara T. Niles, T stands for twat, got involved and told the police department that they would not be doing that with her, and that if she needed something out of the home, she could go hire a state-approved contractor at the tune of $10,000, mind you, to go in the home to retrieve her vital documents. Now, why would Tamara T. Niles have done that? Well, because Reagan made it very clear that she was going to be supporting Sarah. Imagine the deception and the retaliation that they're going to initiate on Sarah because of my involvement, as they already railroaded her by not involving her as the next of kin in all of these supposed horrible things that were going on at this house. Interesting stuff, huh? So I have been, along with Sarah, and sometimes without Sarah, I've been visiting Leonard, her great-grandfather, who's 90 years old. He just turned 90 years old in the process of all of this. Been visiting him at the nursing home. This city literally relegated a 90-year-old man into a nursing home and began the process of stealing his property based on nuisance abatement that they thought they could get away with. Yeah, it's sick. It's super sick. It's been exceptionally emotional. Huh, Sarah?
It's been a lot. It's felt world-ending. It's not, but it's horrible. It's the worst thing I've ever had to go through next to CPS.
Yeah. At the young age of little Miss Sarah's 27. She's going to be 28 pretty soon. And her mom is still out and about navigating homelessness. She's working exceptionally hard to avoid homelessness. It's, this amount of government overreach is like, I don't know how long I should do it. I should try to expose it and correct it and at least salvage what can be salvaged from the damage that they've caused. So at any rate, Sean Lewis and his city staff are trying to railroad Sarah. And city council is of course silent, even though they're elected to represent the people. Joe Anderson, for those of you that know Joe, from the Steve and Joe show, this all occurred in his district. He's been completely non-responsive to Sarah. Go figure, because without a doubt, the cult leader pastor himself helped the neighbors orchestrate with the cops. So, Yeah, Bill, cities have done this for hundreds of years and very few fight them. Glad you're on the fight. I am too. I came into the fight too late, so most of the damage has been done. We've been able to salvage some financial assets with very directed attorney representation, if you will. However, we can't get any attorney support on the legal questions of what Englewood has gotten away with. So, yeah, DJ, they're the weakest and least able to fight. The homeless, the vulnerable, the elderly. We know how this goes. These are all the people gathering for their awards that they'll be presented tonight by government. Yep. It goes on at every single meeting. It's how you retain your votes for office. To show the people how kind you are, especially with their children. Children's awards are the very best. Yeah. Behind closed doors, and because it should have some purpose. Well, because then it wouldn't be a public spectacle. Yes. Yes. Sarah is incredibly intelligent. She has been through the gamut of seeing government destroy lives with an attempt to destroy her own. Her story is long, and it's exceptionally important in the landscape of her coming to the realization that government is not here to help her.
It'll be recorded too, like
Yeah.
they make things worse. Everything is on their agenda. I've done it that time and time again, but it took my grandfather losing his home for it to really get through to me that it's their agenda, not the people's. And it's so sad.
She's been exceptionally strong throughout this. It has been, yeah, you really have no idea until you're there to see it and feel it. So, yeah. Hey, Tony and Cap, how you doing? Notice, Hume, he didn't want to engage with the camera, but he certainly engaged with me when I walked in here without the camera rolling, which I did intentionally, because I thought we might have a conversation about how I had some respect for this cop who was called to the library during COVID, when the librarians were starting their process to have me criminalized because they didn't like me. They called the cops because I didn't wear a mask in the library during COVID. They were trying to kick me out of the library. So he shows up with another officer who is, I don't believe, with Englewood PD anymore. They made the right decision. and told the librarian that I wasn't doing anything illegal. And they sure the hell were not going to be arresting me. I'm surprised that they didn't, but nonetheless, I wanted to assume that they were upholding their oath, as they were wearing masks, of course, right? And I've had other interactions with Hume out on the street that were fairly positive. Ones that I didn't feel that I needed to put up on YouTube. Because it involved homeless folks that were in despair. I thought he showed some decent compassion. But to that point that we're always making about you don't ever trust them. Because at the end of the day, what are they? They're deceptive, dishonest, and they're a gang. And gang stalking is real. And sure as shit, the second he ended up looking like a fool on camera, he went after that person. And he got caught. No, you would rather, I told Sarah, right before I was starting this stream, well, I actually told Hume that he made a fucking fool of himself in front of this young lady, and that he should be embarrassed, especially not knowing who she was. And then I proceeded to remind Sarah and Hume that you are much better off calling a crackhead to the scene of something emergent than you are these assholes.
I have had crackheads help a lot more than the cops.
Yeah, admittedly, right? Yeah. If I
They
needed.
gave a lot of good advice. They had a lot of advice about court.
Uh-huh.
And they helped me. I had a lot of anxiety, and they helped me a lot with that.
Yeah.
I would give them credit for that.
Well, in my case, I figured, in the course of ever needing some physical help, that would be the only reason I would be asking for help,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You call them, you risk them showing up and shooting you. So, I most definitely would reach out to a crackhead if I needed physical help. So we're in between this study session and the beginning of the regular meeting. And so the regular meeting starts at 7. And so, they all do all their awards and blah, blah, blah. And then they'll move on to public comment. Let's see if that list is still in there. I'm still only number 2. They're going to try to move me to the bottom of the list. Hello. Do you have anything to say for the camera?
No, ma'am.
No? You don't want to talk the same shit you were talking earlier? Just curious. Isn't that what this is about?
So is this what's about?
The attention you seek?
I do not wish to speak to you, ma'am.
You do not wish to speak to me, but yet you are. You wish you could earn my respect back. Why don't you tell the truth?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
He's mad because I didn't set off the metal detector. He made comments that both Sarah and I didn't set off the metal detector, and that didn't set well with him.
Welcome back.
Probably not the best sign in the world, is it?
And his fearless leader, who actually wrote to City Council and told City Council how proud he was of what the Englewood Police Department had done to the 90-year-old man by relegating him to a nursing home. He was proud of his officers and the partnerships with other government agencies. This shit is going bye-bye in the lawsuit, by the way.
They're all like robots. My mom
Robots.
was right when she said that.
Just wanted to see if he wanted to perform for the camera.
Why would he? The camera's on.
All right, so we will go in and set up shop at this table for now. You ready to go in there? Okay, so this is where the video will get boring, I suppose. That's Sean Lewis, you do know that, right?
Let's go, Mike. You did it right. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, you're running the wrong city. Yeah. Which I'm sure. And then, yeah, you just
It was a very well attended process.
Yeah, DJ, thanks for highlighting the pluses. We're close to the emergency exits. Yeah, most of these people are here for their awards and they'll split.
Yeah. It's really pretty. It is.
All right, everyone, we are now back. I call this meeting to order.
Here we
If you're able to do
go.
so, please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Clerk, would you please take roll call?
Yes, good evening. Mayor Pro Tem Anderson, Member Nutin, Member Frame, present. Member Russell,
Present.
Member Ward,
Present.
Member Wright, present. Mayor Sierra,
Present.
6 present.
All right, everyone, we're using the new voting formats, so we'll be using the iPads in front of us at least members of council. I'm moving on to agenda item 5, consideration of minutes from the previous session. Any changes to the minutes from the regular city council meeting on July 7th? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the July 7th meeting? Come on, let's get there.
Summer,
All right, member Newcamp moves. Can I get a second? Thank you, member Russell. Let's see if we got that right. Is everything? We'll get it fixed there. All right, everyone, we got a new iPad system for tonight. We're gonna work out the kinks live, so we'll see how this worked out. All right, so we have a motion and a second, and City Clerk, you went ahead and corrected it on your end?
corrected,
Or just the fact that we had member Russell in the second?
and that's what it showed up.
Okay, perfect, we got it right then. All right, no further comments, can we please vote? All right, City Clerk,
All right. Let the record show 6 ayes.
perfect, all right, we're moving on to recognitions. Up first, we want to go ahead and recognize Jan Brown's contributions to Englewood through Citizens Alliance for a Sustainable Englewood, which is the case. So after 8.5 years, Englewood's longstanding environmental residential group, Citizens Alliance for a Sustainable Englewood, known as CASE, is coming to a close. Tonight, we are here to recognize and celebrate the incredible contributions of this group that has made, that the group has made for the Englewood community. The beginnings of CASE started when former Englewood resident Jeff Frazier and current resident Jan Brown took a 350 weekend workshop on leadership. wanting to take back what they learned in England, we created a case in 2017. Major projects that the group has helped progress and or advocated for include the Depot Park, the Garden in the Box program, many state policies and programs, but I think the biggest one is the biogas project at the South Platte Renew, which Dan, you're well aware, we made final payment to the biogas project here in July. So thank you very much for that to staff as well. Jan wanted to make sure it was known that no one does this work alone. Every member of CASE provides strong support for their projects, and she thanks each and every one of them for their dedication and hard work. City staff and council would like to thank Jan and every CASE member over the years for helping Englewood advance its community together and for putting environment and human health at the forefront in all they do. So Jan, thank you so much. And all members of CASE that have been involved over the years, really appreciate everything that you've done for the city, so thank you so much.
No clapping allowed. No clapping allowed.
All right, you want to hold this? Come on, Jan, you work. So that's one. Come on, man. Perfect. Thank you so much, Jan. Always. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move on to the next recognition. So Englewood City Council would also like to recognize Englewood All-American City Delegation. Englewood was honored to be named a finalist for the 2025 All-American City Award, a prestigious national recognition presented by the National City Civic League. This award celebrates community that come together to tackle local challenges through collaboration, innovation, and civic engagement. Englewood was selected as a finalist for its commitment to environmental sustainability and its efforts to engage the community in meaningful, forward-thinking initiatives. The city's application centered around 3 key focus areas. The first was expanding access to sustainability programs for all residents. The second was strengthening partnerships with nonprofit schools and neighboring cities. And the third being enhancing transportation options to make them safer and more connected. Our application showcased the contributions of many valued community partners, some of whom joined the delegation to participate in the Denver competition. Englewood's delegation, including staff from City Manager's Office, the Communications Department, Community Development Departments, along with dedicated community partners from Arapahoe County, the City of Littleton, Englewood residents who participate in the Sustainability Commission and the Tri-Cities Green Business Program. While Englewood was not ultimately selected as an All-American City, we are grateful for the hard work of our staff and community partners who helped bring this effort to life. Your contributions have made a lasting impact on our city, and we thank you for your dedication. So thank you very much, everyone that was involved in that. Members of the committee here for that we wanted to recognize. So do we want to read off the names for each that were involved, or I guess we didn't get that far, but I know we have certificates for each of them. So we'll read off the names, and then I will be up front to take a picture, and then we'll have a picture with all council. Thank you.
So we've got Tracy Casavina. Sabina.
Get over here, Sean.
Oh my God, where's Sean to take the picture? Oh, how cute.
We'll do it.
Okay, City of Littleton. Englewood Communications.
Don't fall off.
Englewood Community
I
Development.
do it anyway.
You're taking a picture.
Okay. Englewood City Managers.
Oh, especially. Woo!
Arapahoe County.
Boo.
And frame to art.
Yeah, we're gonna get a picture with that.
Oh my God, a picture. Yay. Woohoo. Picture. Come on, everybody. Picture
It's like
time.
the people that come to this are my grandpa's family's age. It's like, that's their target audience.
Bingo. Statists. Commonly known as statists. Thank God Sean's in a picture. Yes. One more. One more, because Sean's in the picture. One more. Woo! Yeah! Oh, yeah. Oh, that feels good.
Mayor. Did you see the other recognition? Okay, perfect.
I know I skipped over that. All right, so
Wanted to make sure.
gotta go back to 6B, so we also want to introduce Will Slater, our Economic Development Manager. I will pass over to Brad Howard for an introduction. Go ahead, Brad.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Brad Howard, Director of Community Development. I do want to very pleased to introduce Will Slate, our Economic Development Manager. Will joined us in the latter part of June. He joined us from San Diego area where he worked for a business development and economic development nonprofit in one of the city's major neighborhoods. And so far, in a real short time with us, he has jumped all in on helping us out with the South Broadway revitalization project. He's engaged with our economic development partner agencies as well, and he's completed so far 39 outreach meetings to Englewood businesses. So we're very pleased to welcome Will, and I'll turn it over for him to have a few words with you.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I'm very excited to be here and grateful to be in this position at the city of Englewood. It's truly a city filled with all-stars, surrounded by a great support team and the people I meet out in the city who make this city so unique are also all-stars. So I'm excited to get going and working closely with you, my team, and the city, and that's all I have.
Will, thank you so much. We're looking forward to the work that you would do here in the city. Obviously, small business is something that we're very prideful of, so looking forward to just seeing how you can help start the communication with many of our small businesses in here. So thank you so much for joining us here in the city of Englewood.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
council members.
Yeah, feels good. Feels real good.
All right, we are now moving on to public comments. So Member Russell's going to be giving a response tonight. So, one second here. Just want to make sure I cover everything. So everyone, public comment, we're gonna be limited to 3 minutes each, 90 minutes total for the session. If you are an Englewood resident, please provide your address or your cross streets. If you're not an Englewood resident, the name of your city will do just fine. I won't be listing your address, I'll just let you know whether or not you are a district resident or outside of the city. If there were any materials that you wanted to provide, please submit those to the city clerk in advance of the meeting. Any audio or visual materials that you would like to use for public comment, please submit those to the city clerk by 5 p.m. on Thursday prior to the meeting. So we only have 2 speakers here tonight. Actually, first, one of the speakers is Kevin Santola. Is Kevin here tonight? He called in, but he didn't provide an address. Okay. So then our next speaker is going to be Regan Benson from outside of the city. So Regan, when you are ready, you have 3 minutes to speak.
I'm ready to speak, and I am from the city of Utopia. I notice again that you're still making up the rules for public comment as you go along. Quite pathetic. Oh yeah, that's right, being sued. Aren't you, Mayor Nathaniel, and Joe, and Tara, and Sean? Cute, Sean, you look so cute up there in those pictures. I was so excited to take pictures. Yay. So anyway, back in the room, you see a friend with me. Her name's Sarah. She's been writing to you, and so have I. Not that any of you really care much. About what this city did to her 90-year-old great-grandfather, who was also her father by legal adoption. No matter how hard I tried to put this summary into 3 minutes, it couldn't be done. So I am, of course, up here again, just winging it, because this highly emotionally charged situation presents again where I didn't think it could get any worse in Englewood. After you left a man to die on a bench. Look at these 2 asses over here, not even paying attention. It got worse. And it involved the city creating more homelessness. Crystal stood up here and talked to you about asking if she could go back in the condemned home that this city orchestrated on a 90-year-old man. You let her go. She was able to get her ID. Her daughter, Sarah, in the back of the room, asked for the same concessions because every single vital document she owns is in that home. She was arranging it with the police department until Tara T. Niles over here decided to interrupt the process and said that she'd have to spend $10,000 and hire a contractor to go in there for this alleged meth testing that y'all did in this house. A spot on the wall, a spot on the wall over here, on the microwave, on the fridge door, a spot in the bathroom, but nothing in the ventilation system, nothing on any possessions or items in the home, nothing in the ventilation system. Even a 90-year-old man agreed to meth testing himself, completely negative. So where is the serve and protect, again in this city, in the police department, where your chief just put in writing how proud he was of the police department's collaboration of relegating a 90-year-old man to a nursing home, while this young lady continues to get railroaded by this city with this jackass Sean as the leader of it? I don't approve, Sean, and it's not funny. As you sit over there and laugh. You're not gonna win any railroading contests,
Ms.
Sean.
Benson, your 3 minutes are up. Thank you very much for coming for public comments. Any questions for Ms. Benson? Seeing none, that now concludes public comments. Member Russell, if you'd like, you can provide a response to public comments.
I want to thank you all for coming tonight. Regan, thank you for coming and addressing City Council again. I did have some concerns after the last email, and I just have a council request, and that council request is, has to do with the city responding so that the sale of the property could take place with that information. I don't know if if the title company reached out to the city, but I would like for council to get the information that we need to respond to that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Member Russell. All right, that concludes public comment. We are going to go straight into the consent agenda. So we only have one item for tonight. That was 983. Any others that have made
Fuck you.
All right, if not,
Yeah, I was just letting the chief of police in on some speech of mine, and it went like this: fuck you. And fuck you. All right, I feel better. Whew! I feel way better.
Well, I'm glad you feel better.
I needed that. Bye.
All right, you guys have a good day.
Thanks, Dwight. That's all I could muster up. Sorry, girlfriend. I just, it just doesn't,
You did great.
it just doesn't fucking matter
And
with
at
this
least
place.
Rita asked a question, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Nothing.
Rita asked,
About the sale.
yeah,
The fact of everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
At least it was a question, though.
yeah.
Shit.
I already put in writing what happened. So where did that question come from? So that just tells me she doesn't read her emails. So that's why I say it's a no-win situation. What this city has done is criminal. They're going to get away with it, likely. Not impossible that they won't, as I continue to empower Sarah in getting some legal help. But it is an emotional load of shit that just never makes sense, no matter how hard you try to make it make sense. And this is what that dick drives everywhere. The new chief of police from Missouri who came here, and by January, after getting his job in November, put in writing how proud he was of his officers and what they have accomplished in relegating a 90-year-old man out of his home and into a nursing home based on fucking lies. I don't know how else to put it out there. How else are we supposed to put it out there?
I don't know, maybe the cops like my brother more than we think.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't quite get on the record was bad actors. Were there bad actors in and out of the home?
Yeah, quite a few. Some of them were family, some of them not, some of them family friends. Some of them I've known to be family since I was little.
And what is Englewood doing, Sarah? What is the Englewood PD doing right now about the blatant evidence that we have that shows someone committed financial fraud back in August on 2 days?
They're not doing shit with it. They're not doing shit. They're saying, oh, well, that's done and over with.
Yep.
And we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, because first their story was your grandfather was uncooperative.
Yeah.
Then when they got called out on that, then it was that they had already investigated these things, and because of Leonard's unwillingness to cooperate, the cases went inactive, but we can't release those cases to you
Right.
because we investigated them thoroughly, and they are titled for an at-risk adult, so we can't release those by law. Well, then that theory fell apart, because then we did get them to release them after we went to the DA and said, why aren't you doing an investigation? And then we got in a fight with the DA's office because they said that Englewood did a great job investigating all of these things that we could never see. Well, guess what? They released the reports, and lo and behold, they didn't investigate a fucking thing. Not one thing.
Yep, they just talked to the initial people in the reports,
the reporting party, which was you.
Me, yeah. I was one of them. And they never went to Wells Fargo. There's no mention that they went to Wells Fargo.
That they did anything at all, that they even made a phone call.
Yeah. They
So
made
now-
a phone call to me, but I made the report. And that was one phone call, and it didn't answer shit.
So Sergeant Contos, who's apparently making another effort to investigate this, has now told Sarah as of today he won't be investigating it. I have to laugh at this stuff because the cover-up and the obvious bullshit that they're doing is deflection for the lies and the deceit, and they're caught. Just like Sean in there. You should have seen how he responded to Sarah in writing last Friday to some specific questions. And now today, after he got called out on that, he's responding to her with some more stupidity and deflection. And all of it is just obvious guilt. And if all of this stuff was about addressing this public safety concern and health and well-being of an elderly individual, what I also didn't get to say in my public comment is not a single person has been charged
Right.
with
right.
any abuse of an elder
Right.
abuse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And absolutely, my brother, I love him. I love him dearly. He's my brother, but he's made the worst decisions in life, and it's hurt him. It's hurt people around him, and it's ultimately come down to the city getting my grandfather and his home because of things my brother and his friends did at his house.
Yep.
And I've said on multiple occasions for years before I even moved back here that my grandfather is blind. He has macular degeneration. And
Yeah.
he's had it for 40, 50 years.
Something else that the city of Englewood decided to ignore. The man is blind and exceptionally hard of hearing. And so it made it very easy for them to do what they were doing. And when all this was going down, I want to make it very clear that Sarah was not in the home, that she had escaped some bad situations. And if this was truly about serve and protect, where were the police serving and protecting the at-risk elderly man? Nobody was ever held accountable to this alleged meth that was in the home, to the financial crimes, to the plethora of, drug charges that allowed the police department to go ahead and initiate and kick off meth testing in the home.
But then pushing it on my mom because she was there.
Yes.
Granted, she has a part, she has accountability in this to some extent, but at the same time, not all of that she is responsible for. Not every single
And by the way,
thing.
just so you know, her mom, Crystal, you saw her talk here, she was charged with 39 counts of nuisance prohibited
Yep.
ordinance
39.
violations, 39 counts. And she came over here to this frickin' municipal court and didn't ask for attorney representation.
Bless her heart.
Right?
Bless her heart.
And apparently made her own deals. And but her case is sealed. So it's all very interesting on how all of this went down. And the winner of the game of, I don't know, what do we call this? Of making the neighbors happy? What game was this? That the
It was
neighbors...
essentially that. I mean, the neighbors would call for every little thing. I remember my mom vacuuming. It was 8:30 at night, and they called the police on her for vacuuming on the patio. Specifically, the patio had flooded, so she had to suck all the water up out of the carpet, and she got the cops called on her for that from the neighbors.
And see, this is a lesson wherein if the cops show up to your home, don't answer the door. Don't talk to them. Do not let them in, Crystal.
I think she'd learn by now.
Crystal was cooperative in some situations that, of course, Englewood PD took advantage of by being allowed in the home. But at the end of the day, they were allowed to forcibly remove that man from his home. They showed up, told him to get out. He didn't even have a shirt on.
It was snowing too.
Yep, it was in
snowing
December,
that day.
snowing. He didn't have a shirt on.
It was January 7th.
And they
it
gave
was still snowing from the snow. It's freaking Colorado.
and they gave him a
It snows.
blanket and didn't let him get any personal belongings, not even one item.
No, that's what. Yeah, no.
And then stuffed him in a motel for one night with somebody.
Jessica McKnight.
And then, yeah, and then they stuffed him in a nursing home. And then they CPS abruptly closed the case after Sarah realized.
I didn't know it was closed. I called because I wanted to visit my grandpa, and the place that he's at said that I couldn't visit, so I called the APS worker. She's like, "Oh, I don't know why they're doing that, but we closed the case. They should. Anybody's allowed to visit."
And what have you learned since then, Sarah, as to why APS closed the case?
Because I got him a cognitive evaluation at his primary care provider, and he passed. He's cognitive.
Meaning that APS had no legal authority to be doing what they were doing because he was not a threat to himself or anyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so how convenient that APS, partnering with the police department, with the chief of police, with the fire marshal, they just showed up and told the guy to get out of his home. And then conveniently, they closed the case right when the city started filing liens on the property.
Yep.
Yeah. Do y'all get what's going on here? Do you all get the sick and disgusting thing that's going on here? This man never asked to go to a nursing home. He's been forced to give up all of his Social Security. This man worked his entire life. His life savings was the equity in his home.
Lost his animals.
Lost his animals. Yep. It costs $307 a day to be in the nursing home he is in. He never asked for this. He never asked for it. So, that's why we're doing what we're doing. I'm so disgusted and mad about it. When are people gonna stand up? They're not.
They're too scared to.
They are too scared, Sarah, but nothing's gonna change until.
If I didn't have you here with me, I would not be here. I'd be too scared to. I grew up in CPS. I've been to foster care. I've been to foster homes. I've been to group homes. I got tired of that fight. I got very quickly tired of that fight. The second I got out of that system, I stayed home. I didn't do shit. I was a shut-in. Like, I didn't ever want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I would not be here without you. The fact that you're supporting me so much throughout this is a big thing.
Yeah.
I would not be here. I am one of those people who are also too scared most of the time to do anything. But because I know I have somebody by me that advocates for me, I'm willing to face that.
And boy, I get in this mama bear mode. She has been disrespected so bad. So bad. And I think that combined with what they've done to Leonard is just, I don't know. I don't know how to wrap my brain around it other than to take my own advice and remember that I constantly say this is evil and you're dealing with it and you're not going to make sense of it. So, I don't know. DJ, Younger people don't go through this stuff on a regular basis. There's no roadmap for this shit. Yeah. That is very true.
Yeah, I've learned that pretty
Yep.
quickly.
Yeah.
There really is no roadmap. I remember begging for help from outside family, police, CPS, like help me figure life out.
Mm-hmm.
And it never happened. I ended up having to do it myself, and that never happened.
And put
because
the
I didn't
pieces
know
back together that they destroyed, that they ripped apart.
Right. I mean, my grandmother died. I had a suicide attempt in 2012 or 2013, and their way of helping me was taking me to Excelsior, some group home for girls, and putting me in a brick room for 72 hours. And then when they decided I was not a harm to me or others, I could be in the cottage with the other girls and have fun and this and that. And it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, girls would try to run, and when they did, we were instructed to put our heads down, cover our faces, and don't look up. If we did, we got in trouble. So that's
Yeah.
not normal.
Sarah's just coming to the realization of how much of what went on in her adolescent life was wrong. She was being raised by her great grandparents adopted her and her brother. Her grandparents were the age of,
I remember like 70, 72.
I think it was on that birth certificate,
Was it
right?
64?
So they were, one of them I believe was 62 or 64 and the other one was 67 years old.
Okay.
So that must have been your grandfather,
Yeah,
of course,
they're
being
about
the
a year
older.
or two between, yeah.
Okay,
So,
so and
he
that was in the year,
that they adopted me.
yeah, you and your brother. Well,
they
first it was you.
adopted- Yeah, first they adopted me. It had to have been 02, 03,
Okay.
and then Jacob would have been,
He came along in 05.
yeah.
He was born
came
in
along
05?
In 05. No, he came along in 03.
03.
He came along in 03, and I think they adopted him in 05 or 06.
So you've got pretty elderly folks raising babies
Mm-hmm.
because of what, I mean, we can fairly say of bad parental decisions
Yeah,
made
both
by...
of our parents were addicts.
You didn't ask for that. This is what I talk about in homelessness a lot. How the kids and those that end up in chronic homelessness, they didn't ask for this. They didn't stand a
Right.
chance. You stood a chance, you and your brother stood a chance because your great-grandparents adopted you.
Yeah, I
Right?
remember them saying that that's why they did it.
Yep.
Was because they wanted us to have a chance at a good life.
And look what the city did to this man. After his wife passed away in 2011, who kept the family together, Sarah's relationship was grounded in what she had with her great-grandmother. And then she was stripped out of her life.
I was closest to her. Jacob and Grandpa, they were always together because they were the men in the family, you know. So I was with Nana all the time. She was my mom.
Yeah.
And she passed away. I didn't.
Nobody helped you through that.
No,
Nobody.
I was stubborn, to be fair, but everyone in my family is. But no, I didn't. Jacob got more than I did when it came to that. He got payments. He got money from the government every month until he was 21. I didn't get that.
And Sarah got swooped up by the fucking system. That's what Sarah got. She got told she wasn't capable. She got told that she couldn't make good decisions.
That I need to look into disability because I'm disabled.
No, she's not. She's bright, she's vibrant, and she's putting it all back together. And her and I, we're going to be connected for life, and that's just the way it's going to go. And I'm going to advocate every step of the way that she wants me to, because she's going to make fantastic things happen for herself.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to have an impact. I really do.
I know you do.
And it's hard to have that goal when you're looking at shit like this.
Yep.
But I really do. I want to impact somebody, even if it's just with a book or a video or a conversation.
Uh-huh.
Because
This is no way of life.
no, it's ridiculous.
And maybe you'll be a beacon of hope for those who are falling trap into the statism of indoctrination camp and all those other things that teach everybody how to be dependent on government and where it's going to get them. You are a real life peer navigator. That is peer navigation. We use that term in addiction, but we don't ever use it outside of addiction. Well, government is an addiction and an affliction, and it needs to be corrected.
Yeah, because every time I ran to government for help,
You got screwed.
yeah.
Times 10.
Yeah.
Sarah didn't speak tonight because she actually has been trying to communicate with the city, unraveling the answers to these liens and to all the bullshit that they're giving her. It's overwhelming. So I told her that tonight I would come and put more on the record, but I'm telling you guys, I couldn't do it. I racked my brain all day, and I wrote that 3-minute speech, I don't know, 6 or 7 times. I can't do it. They don't care. And I don't know how to make them care other than to insult them, because they always care about their feelings. They're always in touch with their feelings. Uh-huh. Yeah. So that's where we're at. And I haven't been to a city council meeting in a while, and it just so happened that worked out real well that Officer Hume was here as well. Any quick comments or questions before we say goodbye? La Rada! They have contempt for your rights, your freedom, your happiness, your health, your unity, and your prosperity. Yeah, they do. They think they should have it. And one of the times I rewrote this speech, I said in it that perhaps since Sean and this chief of police are so proud of what they've accomplished, perhaps the people can rally once they're done being welfare whores on the back of hardworking taxpayers who don't have impunity for lying, deceit, thievery, physical abuse, and murdering people. Perhaps the two of them can be relegated into a nursing home, not a nursing home, a closet in a nursing home, which literally Leonard has been stuffed into a room the size of a closet with a roommate. It is so bad. That's another thing. On top of all of this, Sarah and I are working with the nursing home. We had to spend lots of time in conversations with Leonard about why he wasn't going back home. There was no money. They bankrupted. It was impossible for him to get back into his home. And there was nobody to take care of him. Have those conversations. And tell somebody, oh, I know you didn't want to be here. I know you worked your whole life to die in your own home. But too bad. You don't get to do that. And all of your Social Security, you're giving that up too. I would like to do that to every single person, but especially Sean and David, and relegate you pieces of shit to a nursing home and make you give up every red cent in your name, equity in your property. Fuck your kids. Fuck them. They can go off and figure shit out after your world gets fucking destroyed. That's what I want for you. And everyone else that was complicit. And every one of these cops that knew what they were doing. That's what I hope for you. Those are my wishes. And I hope your children suffer great emotional turmoil through it. Because I'm fucking tired of making concessions for evil tyrants and how their families feel. Fuck your family. Yeah. Fuck your family. Till next time, you guys. Thanks for hanging with us. Bye.